Headlines for this week include student loans, Veterans Day, and a look at the new music festival. Stay tuned, WMCM's Week in Review is next.
Hello, and thanks for watching WMCM's Week in Review. I'm Jacqueline Snow.
And I'm Allie Schatzman. Some good news for those of you worrying about your future student debt. The Student Loan Report has ranked UWL as Wisconsin's second best public university for paying back student loans. Only 2% of UWL students have failed to pay their student loans in the last 3 years. The university's high job placement rate helps with this payback, with 98% of 2015 and 2016 graduates finding work within 6 months of graduating. The report also praises the It Makes Sense program for helping teach students successful ways to manage their money and prepare them for the future. If you have any questions about your student loan payback or other financial needs, don't be afraid to talk to someone from the Financial Aid Office in room 1101 Centennial Hall.
La Crosse's new music festival started this past Tuesday and runs until tomorrow, November 3rd. This event is held in the Annette Recital Hall located in the Center for the Arts. Tomorrow, Samuel Ziman, a composer and faculty member at Juilliard School of Music, is coming to campus. Ziman will give a pre-concert talk at 6:30, followed by a concert at 7:30. His style of music is a combination of jazz, Latin rhythms, neo-romantic harmonies, and lyrical melodies. This concert will feature our very own UWL faculty members, Jonathan Bora on flute, Mary Tolfson on piano, and Derek Clark on cello. This event is free and welcome to all.
This weekend, the UWL Theater Department will open the second show of their season, Ella Masaneri. The play focuses on 3 generations of women and how a disastrous event challenges their family. The show explores the group dynamic between family members as they work through their resentment towards each other. Ella Masaneri will have 4 performances, starting tonight and ending on Sunday. Performance times are 7:30 p.m. on November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and at 2 p.m. on November 5th. These performances will take place in Frederick Theater on the first floor of Morris Hall. Tickets are available now through the university website or in person at the CFA box office.
The 6th annual RAQ Radio Chili Cook-Off is this weekend. A WMCM looked back at previous years and talked with a hopeful contestant. Let's take a look.
RAQ Radio Chili Cook-Off is just around the corner. Contestant Brigham Wyrock has been cooking chili for the event for the last 2 years.
You know, last year I came in a solid 3rd place, but I believe I have what it takes to get to 1st this year. I think the reason I got 3rd last year is because I ran out of chili, so this year I'm going to come with more fire and more quantity.
The event will take place this Saturday, November 4th at 5:30 p.m. at the Greengrass Cafe on Campbell Road in La Crosse. If past years are any indication, you will want to get there early and with an empty stomach.
Early is definitely a good idea. People will come very hungry. I mean, $5 for all you can eat. It's definitely something you want to take advantage of right away so they don't run out, because there's going to be a lot of good chili there that people are going to want to eat.
The entrance fee is only $5 for all-you-can-eat chili. There's going to be many different types and flavors on display, but Wyrock is confident that his recipe this year will win him the first place prize.
So this year I'm bringing out a new special recipe from Mama Wyrock. It is her blazing, fire-eating white chili. We got chicken, we got sriracha, we got habanero jack cheese, and some white beans in there. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to try and go for gold this year, that's for sure.
You can try Mama Wyrock's blazing, fire-eating white chili as well as flavors from over a dozen organizations on campus, and then vote for your favorite to win.
Cool organizations that are represented at the Chili Cook-Off. There's going to be a lot of cool people hanging out, eating chili, and then we're raising money for a really cool cause, RQ Radio and WMCM TV for the Coulee Region Humane Society.
For WMCM TV, this has been Colin Malliott, Mike Field, and Maddie Cum. Back to you in the studio.
Now here's Quinn Fitzsimons to talk about events coming up on campus.
Thanks, Jacqueline. With Halloween now over and Thanksgiving right around the corner, the UWL campus is certainly ramping up its holiday spirit. If you would like to help spread this holiday cheer, you can sign up to be a bell ringer to raise money for the Salvation Army. UWL faculty and students are taking over 23 bell ringing locations on Saturday, November 11th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Each location needs at least 2 volunteers per shift, and there are 274 two-hour shifts that need to be filled. So, if you're feeling like giving back, you can go to the website on the bottom of your screen and sign in with your UWL ID to pick up a shift and help your local community. Moving on, do you like movies? How about learning about different cultures? If you answered yes to one or both of those questions, then you're in luck, because starting Monday, November 6th and going through Thursday, November 9th, the theater in the basement of the Student Union will be screening a collection of films that portray what life is like for youth in the Middle East. The screenings will be followed by discussions centering around the themes and messages the movies convey. For more information about the films and times, you can go to uwlax.edu or visit the front desk at the U. Now, while we're on the topic of different cultures, Global Initiatives Week is kicking off in La Crosse this weekend to celebrate the individual cultures that make up our global community. The week's first event will be held this Friday, November 3rd, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Myrick Park Center. This free celebration will include samples of food from various cultures provided by local restaurants, a multilingual children's story time, and several music and dance performances. I know, if I were you, I'd be sure to stop by, because after all, it's free food. Now back to you, Jacqueline.
Tonight at the La Crosse Center, 2 of our very own UWL staff members and a recent graduate are being honored through the YMCA for their impact on the community. Jamie Capitillo, a 2017 graduate, is being recognized for the organizations she was involved with during her undergraduate years, such as Alana, ACP, and Campus Climate, all through which she's had very active roles. Colleen Dixon, a staff member working at UWL's Access Center, has been involved in an extensive amount of volunteer work, such as coaching, Girl Scouts, 4-H, and much more. Lastly, Marcy Wyckoff-Horn is being noted for her surplus of leadership opportunities. What a great way to shine a spotlight back on UWL.
Hey there, I'm Sienna. I'm an energetic girl who needs a lot of exercise. I'd love to go for a run with you.
Hi, I'm Violet. I'm a sweet, gentle 11-year-old girl who's still young at heart. I only have 3 legs, but my heart is twice the normal size.
Well, hey there, I'm Lance. I'm one little guy who just loves exploring, but I'd really love to explore my new forever home.
Hello, I'm Mystic. I'm a little shy at first, but when I warm up, I love to play, and I'm looking for my forever owner.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
The number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. The UWL Language Resource Center is hosting an event as a part of Global Initiatives Week called Infuse Cultures and Languages Across Majors. Students who have studied in countries such as France, China, Bolivia, and Spain will share their experiences of living overseas, as well as the benefits of learning a new language and culture. The students will be there to discuss and encourage all those who are considering studying abroad in the future. Several professors will also be there discussing new upcoming travel opportunities available for students. The event will take place on Monday, November 6th from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. in 321 Graf Main Hall. This week, we sent out a WMCM crew to check out the annual New Music Festival. Let's take a look.
UWL hosted the 18th Annual New Music Festival. The festival included music ranging from a flute solo to a quartet to digital electronics. We caught up with Chris Fry, music department chair at UWL, who also composed a piece for the concert to talk about the festival.
My name is Chris Fry, and I'm the chair of the music department and a professor here, and I teach music theory and composition. I've been involved in organizing the New Music Festival since we started 18 years ago, and we invite a lot of living composers from the region, and some even from, farther away. to present their music. And the concerts usually involve students and faculty, a lot of area performers, area groups will perform pieces, mostly pieces that would have been written in the last decade, but some pieces that are older.
New Music Festival has 2 remaining concerts, one tonight at 7:30 in the Annette Recital Hall, and the final performance at 7:30 on Friday. For WMCM, this has been Matt Riley, Linda Yang, and Liz Jenner.
Veterans Day is coming up on November 11th, and to commemorate this day, the UWL Athletics Department will be hosting its 7th annual Veterans Day breakfast. All veterans and their families are welcome to join this event, which is served by all 19 of our intercollegiate student athlete teams. Doors open at 7 a.m. for breakfast, followed by a memorial ceremony in the UWL Veterans Memorial Field Sports Complex at 8:15 a.m. UWL's Brass Quintet will be featured during the later event program at 9:15 a.m. in Mitchell Hall Fieldhouse. A special Veterans Day recognition will also be held this Saturday, November 4th, during the UWL Eagles football game. Each week, the WMCM crew goes out and talks to your fellow peers in a segment we call Campus Insight. This week, they asked students, how old is too old to be trick-or-treating?
Age is it unacceptable to be going trick-or-treating?
I would probably say once you get into college, you're probably a little old to be going trick-or-treating. I would say if you're bringing a little sibling or a friend, then doesn't have a limit, but maybe by yourself, 15.
Between ages 12 and 14. When you turn 18, for sure. At what age is it unacceptable to still be going trick-or-treating?
I would have to say about 14 or 15 years old. Once you hit high school, it's kind of strange if you're still going trick-or-treating.
I'd say probably 15, 16 is the absolute oldest. I think that's kind of up to the people that you're going up to the door to, if they're going to give you candy or not. I see a lot of people wearing costumes up to any certain age, so you do you.
At what age does it become unacceptable to be still going trick-or-treating?
I don't think you're ever too old to be able to trick-or-treat. Because I'm going tomorrow and I'm 20.
For WMCM's Campus Insight, this has been Ryan Hennessy and Austin Tackman.
Look for the WMCM crew around campus for a chance to have your opinions heard on next week's Campus Insight. And now, here's Ethan Jude with a review of the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Thanks, Allie. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a 1974 horror film directed by Texas native Tobe Hooper, follows 5 teenage friends as they travel to visit the hometown of main character Sally's deceased grandfather. As they get closer to the unnamed Texas town, strange events start occurring and locals get less and less friendly. Soon they arrive at a town in the middle of nowhere where Sally and her friends all eventually meet a family of psychopaths, including the chainsaw-wielding butcher himself, Leatherface. Let's take a look at the original trailer.
This is the movie that Rex Reed called the most horrifying motion picture I have ever seen. This film is positively ruthless in its attempt to drive you right out of your mind. It accomplishes everything it sets out to do with brilliance and unparalleled terror.
Franklin!
This is the horror movie to end them all.
Sally, I hear something. Stop! Stop!
This is the movie Rex Reed called the most horrifying motion picture I have ever seen. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from New Line Cinema.
This influential slasher movie still holds up today, even without the special effects and budget of current films. The low-quality camera, convincing acting, and practical effects all give this movie an almost homemade feel. It had a budget of only $300,000 and made over $30 million at the box office, despite it being banned in multiple countries at release due to violence. To modern movie fans, this film may seem full of old horror tropes. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre should be appreciated today because they created those tropes and scared fans for years after release. It would be a perfect film for this Halloween week. Stay tuned to WMCM. Peter Lenz will be back with this weekend's weather.
As promised, I'm back. We're here with this weekend's weather. I'm Peter Lenz, apprentice meteorologist with the First Time Weather. Here we go. We got tonight. It's going to be a nice brisk night, about 47 degrees with, we got some winds going. If you want to fly a kite, you might as well just make sure you got your winter coat because we live in Wisconsin. November, it's about to get chilly, especially when we got our show on Friday night. It's going to be pretty wild then as well. If you see, we're going to have a bit more of some cold weather in there. It'll be 43 degrees, but hey, guess what? We got our sunshine. It's going to pop out to us. You seen Teletubbies, baby-faced sun? That's what we've got tomorrow. It's going to be pretty great. But it's going to be even better on Saturday, because on Saturday we get a whole 3 degrees higher, 46 degrees. It's going to be light rain, so hey, I don't know, you can do some fun things. You could go get your ice tray out there, freeze that. You got some free ice cubes. Make the best out of nothing. That's what we do over here in Wisconsin, because everyone knows on Sunday it's going to be a little bit interesting, because it's going to be 50 degrees. That's basically summertime for us in November. I'm going to be out, show off the guns that are non-existent, wear a cutoff that my dear friend made for me, because it's going to be a good day, and that's this weekend's weather. But hey, don't leave us just quite yet, because next up we got Jason Cashman to talk a little bit about ROTC and the good things that come with that.
All right, thank you, Peter. So I'm here with Captain Aaron Davis. He's an instructor from the Reserve Officer Training Corps program we have here at UWL. He's the MS3 instructor, or the junior instructor. Hello, sir, how are you?
Good.
So the first question is, what is the ROTC program?
ROTC is a leadership program. It helps develop life skills to help prompt or propel the students to prepare them for different leadership roles in life. Its goal is to recruit, educate, develop, and inspire cadets in order to commission officers of character for the Army. It also partners with high schools to conduct JROTC in order to develop citizens of character for a lifetime commitment to the service.
Nice, sir. So you said there's other schools. So what other schools are in the UW La Crosse program?
So there's 4 schools in this region that are part of University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. It is Winona, University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, St. Mary's, and then also Viterbo.
Okay, sir. So what are students called when they're in the ROTC program?
They're called cadets. So cadets are basically, it means that they're in a service school for the Army.
Okay. So around how many cadets, sir, how many cadets do we have here at the UW La Crosse program, including the other schools?
So right now there are 72 cadets that are currently enrolled for University of Wisconsin-La Crosse.
Okay. So what do cadets do on like a regular basis that make them different than regular students, sir?
There's different leadership aspects that they go through. They also get tactical training, medical training, and then once they become juniors, they can go to like airborne schools, air assault schools, and they're able to basically learn lifelong leadership lessons.
So like the airborne, air assault, when do they have time to do those things, sir? Like
they do those during the summer, between the summer schools. So it's the juniors to the senior years when they go, when they're already contracted into the one of these services, either the National Guard, the Reserves, or the regular Force Army.
So what's the difference between like the National Guard and like ROTC?
ROTC is just a commissioning source for National Guard, the regular Army, or the Reserves. Reserves is just what it says, United States Army Reserves. They're a force that backs up the Army in case of war. National Guard is state-based, and they're controlled by the governor instead of the President of the United States.
Yes, sir. So what is like the incentive for students to join the ROTC program?
There's several scholarship aspects that they have. Some are scholarships, plus they get stipends on top of it and room and board for specific scholarships. So they can pay for the entire college itself, plus they'll actually make some money so they don't have to work while they're in college.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see what the questions I have here. So like what kind of like classes do they teach like throughout like in their first year? What do they learn, sir?
First, they learn basic Army skills, or like what's the rank structure, what kind of battalions there are, which is the different organizations throughout the Army, and they just learn basically procedures throughout the Army procedures.
Yes, sir. So they don't have to like contract like what is the contracting process like, sir?
Contracting is when you basically commit to the Army. They don't have to contract until their junior year. To be a junior in the ROTC program, you have to contract. But your MS1 and 2 years, which is freshman and sophomore year, you can just come to these classes and get some good leadership training, like tactical and medical training, that'll give you lifelong lessons later in life.
Yes, sir. So, wow, I lost my train of thought on that one. So when you say like what other like schools can they go to during the summer? Like you said, like airborne, air assault. I think I was researching it, and there's like a CTLT or like a medical. Because I know there's a lot of nurses in the area. So.
Roger. So right now we have 3 nurses that are applying to something called the Nurse Summer Training Program, which they go to different divisions throughout the Army, and they can learn what they're actually going to be doing in the Army for nurses, and they get some more skills, and they're able to do more stuff there because they're part of that program. There's just more stuff they're able to do. And there's advanced camp in the summer between junior and your senior year that they have to go to basically showcase their leadership skills, what they've learned, and there's something called an Order of Merit list, and they gain points for that to help them either get the specific branch they want in the Army, and also to be able to get the specific proponents. So that's the Reserves, National Guard, or the regular Army.
Yes, sir. So then they have to like have like a rank. They get ranked like on their class, sir. Like.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And that's throughout the nation, not just for the schools here.
Yes, sir. Okay. So last question, quick. What would you say to people on how to get involved with ROTC? Like who do they contact or who do they talk to?
Well, first step is just, I would say, enroll in one of the schools like the MS 101 or 102, and they will just get an introduction of how the ROTC is and see if it's a good fit for them. And then they can go talk to Mr. Nathan Rudabush, located in Cartwright Room. He's in room 212. He's our scholarship director.
Yes, sir. So anything that's all I have, sir.
I appreciate it.
So that is the ROTC program. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And we're going to bump the sports quick, but first, let's look at these cute, perfect pets.
Hey there, I'm Sienna. I'm an energetic girl who needs a lot of exercise. I'd love to go for a run with you.
Hi, I'm Violet. I'm a sweet, gentle 11-year-old girl who's still young at heart. I only have 3 legs, but my heart is twice the normal size.
Well, hey there, I'm Lance. I'm one little guy who just loves exploring, but I'd really love to explore my new forever home.
Hello, I'm Mystic. I'm a little shy at first, but when I warm up, I love to play, and I'm looking for my forever owner.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
Again, the number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 781-4014. I'm Colin Malliott, and welcome to this week's sports. It has been a busy week for UWL athletics, and we will start on the gridiron. The Eagles football team took on 9th-ranked UW-Platteville away from home, and they certainly took the game to the Pioneers. And when the dust had settled, La Crosse had earned a 27-20 win and improved to 6-2 on the year, solidifying UWL's first winning season since 2006. The historic win snapped an 8-game losing streak to Platteville. Eagles junior quarterback Drew David finished the day with 266 yards on 14 completions and 3 touchdowns, while also rushing for a team-high 71 yards. 2 of David's touchdowns were completed to senior wideout Nick Holcomb, who caught 7 total passes for 138 yards receiving. His second touchdown catch tied the single-season record for TD receptions, and he is fast approaching the single-season receiving yards record as well. On the other side of the ball, freshman Jacob Krieger led UWL with 10 tackles, but it was junior defensive back Peter Kissling stealing the show with 2 picks. Best of luck to the Eagles as they hope to keep riding this wave going into the final weeks of the season. They return to action this upcoming Saturday, November 4th, where they'll host UW Stout, at 1 p.m. for Senior Day at Roger Herring Stadium here on the UW La Crosse campus. Next, we're over to the soccer pitch, and UW La Crosse women's soccer team has also been riding a wave, 11 straight wins, in fact, and finished their very first undefeated conference season following a win over Oshkosh on Saturday at home. The Eagles came into the game ranked number 16 in the nation, having already clinched the WIAC conference title earlier in the week. They also set a school record for wins in a season with their 16th. The Titans opened up the scoring in the very first minute of the game, but UWL equalized shortly after on an unassisted goal from freshman Caitlin Villars in the 5th minute. Villars netted her second before the end of the first half, and it was all Eagles from then on out, with Villars completing the hat trick at the beginning of the second half, and juniors Margaret Herrings and Olivia Karagianis both scoring to help the Eagles cruise to a 5-2 victory. UWL is the top seed for the upcoming WIAC championship tournament and looks to make it 12 straight wins as they host a semifinal match tonight at 6 p.m. at the Veterans Memorial Sports Complex here in La Crosse. And now we're moving on to the UWL cross-country team and their awesome and stellar performances over the weekend at the WIAC Conference Championships in Whitewater. The men's team came into the season with second-place finishes in all of the last 3 years, but they would not make it a fourth. Junior Thomas Schultz led the team, finishing second overall with a time of 25:05, and sophomore Josh Schrader only 1 place behind him and a few seconds behind at 25:08. In the end, the Eagles men had finished with 6 runners in the top 12 and their 33rd conference title, which is the first since 2013. The Eagles women's cross-country team couldn't quite top that, but still had a respectable day, going into it having won 3 of the last 4 WIAC titles, but ultimately finished second place overall. Senior Sadie Kroll led the Eagles, finishing 3rd overall with a time of 22:29, and she was followed closely by senior Rebecca Voss at 22:30 and 2 places behind. Well done to both the men's and the women's cross-country teams this season. They return to action on Saturday, November 11th for the NCAA Division III Midwest Regional in Rock Island, Illinois. One last thing for sports, and that is a quick shout-out to 3 UWL students who earned WIAC Athlete of the Week honors for their performances. Caitlin Villars, who I mentioned before, scoring that hat trick for the Eagles women's soccer team, was joined by divers Kaylee Alioto and Kyle Walmut as the featured student athletes. Congratulations to those 3, as well as the rest of the UW La Crosse student athletes who competed this semester, and best of luck as conference tournaments and hopefully national championships loom on the horizon. And that's all for this week's sports. So yeah, a lot of great stuff for this week's sports, and I know that going forward on this weekend, I mentioned Senior Day, but there's also going to be the RAQ Radio Chili Cook-Off, as we saw earlier in the program. On Saturday.
Looking forward to that.
Yes,
that'll be good.
Definitely. Well, I think that's just about it.
All right, yep. Thanks for watching WMCM's Week in Review. Make sure to join us next week, Thursday at 4:30, right here on Campus Channel 200 and Digital Cable Channel 989.